Action.
Action.
Alright, we're inside the chloroplast. The white part of the board is the matrix. This is the membrane of the thylakoid. It takes 100 thylakoids to make a granum. So, we're going to start out with the light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis. This is photosystem 2. Photosystem 2 has chlorophyll A, which is a pigment that absorbs blue light. So, blue light comes in, it gets trapped. Water also comes in here. Water gets split, the hydrogen stay inside, the oxygen stay in here until another oxygen comes to make it breathable oxygen. After that, it escapes out and it's free to go. The hydrogen that stays in here is trapped, so it is impermeable to the membrane. While the water was separated, the electrons were taken away from the hydrogen. The hydrogen really want to bind to this, so wherever these electrons go, the hydrogen will follow. So electrons go all the way down the electron transport chain. The hydrogen ions are wanting to connect to it, so it stays with it. And then we get to photosystem 1. Photosystem 1 has chlorophyll B pigment, and it absorbs red light. So the red light in here makes these electrons really, really negative, very excited. From here, the hydrogen ions are only permeable through ATP synthase. So the hydrogen ions going through here wanting to bind to the electrons, but they can't. So when they go through here, they cause ATP synthase to rotate. It binds ADP to a phosphate group to make ATP. Once ATP is made, we need 12 of them to continue. But the problem is that when these hydrogen ions go through here, they end up coming into the matrix. Because they're in the matrix, it makes this positive and this positive, which makes it isotonic. If it's isotonic, we can't make it work. So NADP is a molecule that binds to all the hydrogen that are free floating in the matrix to make sure that this isn't positive, so the hydrogen ions won't actually come out. So when NADPH is created from binding to all the hydrogens, we need 12. Once we have 12 ATP from this situation and 12 NADPH binding to the hydrogen that are out here, we can then start the light independent reaction, which is also called the Calvin cycle. So the Calvin cycle happens inside the matrix. So here we are in the matrix. You might want to stand up for this part so you can see. Okay. So here we are in the matrix. Okay. This is a 5-carbon molecule that is recyclable. It is made of 5 carbons, so it's called ribose. But its name, because it has phosphate bound to it, is called RuBP.
RuBP. RuBP. RuBP. RuBP.
All right. So RuBP. There's a bunch of them in the matrix, but we need 6 RuBPs. How many carbons does RuBP have? 5. 5. Thank you. 5 carbon backbone. Okay. Now, according to the equation, we already used the water in the light dependent reaction. Now we need to get to the carbon dioxide. So the yellow represents carbon and the red represents carbon. So that means that the blue represents breathable oxygen. How many oxygens does breathable oxygen have? 2. 2 breathable oxygens. So what is this right here, Joseph?
Breathable oxygen. Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, okay? So carbon dioxide binds to each of the RuBPs. From here, once they bind, now we have 6 carbon backbones. They split in half. When they split in half, we end up with 12 3 carbon backbones. We end up with 12 3 carbon backbones. When this happens, all the carbon backbones with the carbon dioxides get released. The oxygens get released, I'm sorry. So that means we have 6 breathable oxygens that are released into the atmosphere. From here, the carbons bind and bind. And they continue to bind. Once they finish binding, we left back with our 6 RuBPs, and we're left with a newly made molecule of glucose. That's the whole process of photosynthesis.
Hi.